the Sad Dads Club podcast. Here's everybody's favorite sad dads, Jim and Boo.
I was driving my brother around.
When? Like a Lyft driver?
No.
Is he?
What day is today?
Did he put in like?
It was Friday last week.
Do you have an app and then you like put the coordinates in and you're like, okay.
Yeah.
And then you just drive him there?
I was like, what? I'm done. We're good.
And then you get there and you would accept another ride from him and be like, oh, that's where we're going? Okay.
Okay, I guess. But fucking, what? Do I look, what?
Do I get a fucking tip at least? Shit.
At least he's my
It's a
brother, so I
gig-y,
can't
buddy.
make any joke there, because that would be weird. Yeah.
He's like, yeah, the smooth tip.
Yeah. Brother. Come on now.
Sorry.
What are you doing? It's gross. Anyway.
I mean, that's where I leave my wallet, but
Yeah.
come on, bro.
Yeah. I hide my toothbrush there.
Oh, why are you touching my person wallet?
God,
That's the wrong one.
God. What? I was driving him around a Friday of last week.
Okay.
He had to return.
Just driving him around.
He had to return his rental car.
He had a rental car?
Yes, he got rear-ended by a brand new high school driver
Oh, that's fun.
in like his Kia, whatever model is not the Stinger. It's their
The cadenza?
no.
Oh.
It's their sedan one, but the next trim up is the Stinger one that has like the blower on it.
Well, isn't the Stinger?
It's something, and then there's a Stinger. It's
I
like,
thought the Stinger was the model, but then they just had different.
I didn't think.
No?
I thought the Stinger was the supercharged V6 one. Anyway,
I don't know.
he has the sedan one that's in that same form, but it's like
The
anyway,
Forte?
Anyway, the Forte, the milk box. He got rear-ended. It's been
Okay.
in the shop for a length of time, so rental. So he calls me up. He's like, I have to return this by 5. Can you pick me up at the rental?
And it was $4.45.
It was damn close, dude.
Thanks, brother.
Yeah, it was like $3.45.
Okay.
And my dad was here.
Uh-huh.
So my dad and I are shooting the shit, and then my brother sent me like, hey, could you I'm like, well, sure, yeah, when do we have to be there? Oh, fuck.
Right
yeah,
now.
they close at 5. I'm like, well, I can leave at 4:15, and my dad's kind of sitting there like, but we're having a good conversation, son.
You said you can come with us then.
Yeah, well, no, he was like, I gotta bounce.
Gotta bounce.
Yeah, he like excuses himself because he was like reading between the lines. So I get to the rental place, and I'm like in a holding pattern because they're 1-2 behind answering customers' returns and whatnot. And he gets in the car, and he's like, do you mind if we take a detour? I'm like, fucking, I'm off today, so it's my day off. He's like, because I'd like to go over to the, I don't know, it's some like comic book.
Oh, I thought you were going to say like Showgirls or something.
No, we had his daughter with us. We had Jadzia with us.
The strip club?
Yeah.
You want to go?
Hey, you want to go make it rain? What? You know, titties, make it rain?
Yeah, I got a thing of quarters. Let's go.
Brother, your daughter's with us. Yeah, she'll sit in the back and eat hot dogs. What? Oh.
They got nachos.
Yeah, they got nachos.
That's good.
Buy one, get one. That's good. You eat nachos with strippers? Well, whatever it takes. Buy one, get one.
Yeah. Concession stand.
Okay. It's
Nice.
that or beer, and I can't drive home drunk.
All right, so not Showgirls.
Not Showgirls. It was a comic book store that also does tabletop stuff, like models and paints and whatnot for Warhammer. Anyway, he needed a gaming book for Warhammer.
Don't even know what that is.
Okay, it's like a tabletop, kind of like Dungeons and Dragons-ish. Think along those lines. Tabletop gaming. I'm like, okay, I haven't been to this store. It's attached to the Hard Times Billiards complex.
Oh, yeah. I've played pool there a few
Right.
times.
So, same building.
The building behind that building, big warehouse building.
Yes.
There's a big warehouse building back there. That's where I saw Tool play.
Oh.
way back in the
I
day.
didn't see that. It was.
It's behind. It's like
that area kind of looks like a shithole.
Oh, it is.
Yeah. Okay.
Now, especially now.
Hard Time Billiards kind of looks like a shithole.
Yeah.
It's like, oh, people go here.
It's called Hard Times
Yeah.
for a reason.
So we walk in. We're looking at stuff. Man, anyway, it's really cool. If I had time, painting models and Gundams and shit like that, that would be like my new jam place to go get stuff. It
Yeah.
looked really cool. Tons of space in the back. If I did more tabletop gaming, tons of stuff to do tabletop games. Cool place.
Okay.
And Jazzy was really into it because she kind of just follows Dad around and is semi-interested in those things too. So there were Star Wars stuff and Warhammer 40K stuff and Gundam stuff and gaming things. All the supplies needed for like arts and crafts for painting miniatures and whatnot. So we get back in the car because they didn't end up having what he wanted because...
Disappoint.
Right. And he was talking about the stuff that he took a call from the collision place repairing the car, and they were going to drop it off at his house, but they were
going to risk wrecking it to
right,
get it back
right,
to his house.
Yeah. And they told him that sorry for the delays, this, that, and the other thing, and that they were going to detail it inside and out. In addition to whatever
to make up
the
for
rear end stuff that was, and he's like, man, I feel kind of bad because fucking I dropped it off.
It was dirty.
It was a mess. You know, he drives to work, Grass Valley, McCourtney. So, and one of the, his end destination involves to some capacity dirt road. So the car has all of the.
It's caked.
Yeah, it's dirty. He's like, and I dropped it off thinking you're only working on the ass. Right, so...
Did the dirt get knocked off in the accident? In the back?
Well, yeah, maybe, but not on the inside of the car. He's like, so I left it a mess, so I feel bad, but... I'm taking the win, because I gotta fucking clean the inside of the car. And he was talking about how he had his oil changed months back, and they did not put in his drain plug, or they left it loose. So he had been driving up 49 months ago. I can't believe I missed this story. So he had been driving up 49
with like leak,
and he got somewhere just above Auburn, but before Combi, and his check engine light comes on.
Oh God!
And he is bone dry of fucking oil, and he like looks.
There's no
drain plug.
Oh, that's
no drain plug. And I think, and part of the story had ended up his friend had pointed out to him, like, oh yeah, it looks like it's.
Wait, is your brother's name Tony?
No, yeah, right. Well, yeah.
Sorry,
check your drain plug, brother. One of his friends had pointed out to him. He's like, yeah, well, the oil where the oil looks like it's. He's like, it's near your turbo, and my brother was like, my what?
Does this car have a turbo?
His car has a turbo.
Oh, okay.
He didn't know.
Oh.
But one of the things that he's like, and so it was weird because he was, he's telling me it's turbo, and he's like, do I? He hadn't really paid attention to that he might, because he can't hear it.
Yeah.
He has because of the way California emissions work, the whole concept of what most people would understand to easily, audibly know if they've got a turbo or not is the blow-off valve.
Well, manufacturers want cars to sell cars that are quiet.
Right. Well,
right, and all that
the
stuff.
whole emissions thing of what most people recognize as is not.
What'd you do?
Oh, shit. Did you see that?
Yeah. Look at that.
Wow. The California emissions does not allow you to recirculate emissions into the atmosphere.
Right.
So manufacturers, in order to sell in California, you have to recirculate that back into your intake. So while the function still exists in the motor, it's I am not touching anything.
I know. What is happening?
So the sound essentially is all contained within the intake system, and you don't hear it. Now, you can with the stock system, you can kind of get that audible sound if you do a more freer flowing, what most people don't know is a cold air intake.
Right.
Or you remove the lid, or you install a bigger, more freer flowing intake filter. Chances are you may hear that even though it's still muffled. But by and large, the days of Paul Walker Fast and the Furious cars where you hear stuff popping off, you're not really going to hear that. So those indicators were his, and he didn't realize it.
Oh.
And plus, it's not an aggressive turbo, so he's not, he doesn't know. Most of those things are at such a small spool that they're not really designed to. You're not going to feel the turbo lag. Right. They're just enough to get you fuel efficiency and
Power.
And a little bit of power to make you feel that there's get up and go, but almost doing it in such a small or linear fashion that you don't recognize that you're there. And if you're not a car person, you wouldn't probably give two fucks anyway, and you're not going to hear it, so you wouldn't know.
Yeah.
And so that of course cued me up to I put mine into super awesome mode. And I of course have an aftermarket one that I had to get from non-domestic shipped to here because no one will send it and ship it within domestic US, something that vents to atmosphere.
Yeah.
I am of course going to hell for ruining the environment in my 4-cylinder.
You absolutely are.
20,000-mile, 5-year car.
Yeah, at this point, you might as well put it in a barn and just put a cover over it.
Right.
Yeah.
And just ride a one wheel around town to get groceries and shit.
Yeah.
So I put it in mode, and we had a light somewhere on Auburn.
Yeah.
And I'm like, you don't hear that one? And he's like, no, I don't really hear that one. Yeah.
Well, that's the other bad thing is no engine oil. That means that your turbo's not getting oiled either.
Right. I mean, his car could have been
completely
toasted.
trashed.
And I can't remember. I mean, I think the car had I think my dad said the car went into like a safety thing where it was like, no. It killed the engine.
No oil pressure.
Yeah. So obviously he's still driving the same car, and he certainly would have been covered because it wasn't that he changed his oil and he forgot his drain plug.
Mm-hmm.
He took it somewhere, and they fucked up.
Yeah.
It's not like I'm having you change my oil and then I get underneath here to like loosen fucking bolts to blow a motor while I'm on 49. No one's doing that one.
I mean, before I cite something that I know happened, I'm just going to say, welcome to the show, Sad Dads Club Podcast.
Episode 192. I'm the Lord Fu.
And I am Jim. But that reminds me of a story I just recently read where a guy took his car to the shop to have something done to it, oil change or whatever, to a dealer.
Okay.
And it was a stick. And the dude moving the car didn't know how to drive the stick.
Michigan.
Is that where it was?
I think it was.
And he dumped the clutch and ended up killing one of the techs.
One of the tech, yes.
And the family of the tech who died, that got killed, is suing the guy that owns the car.
Right.
Because they can't sue the dealer.
Right. The Michigan laws forbid you from suing a company or an employee of a company.
It's something like that.
Involved in wrongful death. So because the family can't sue the shop and they can't sue the person that
the employee, you can't sue an employee.
Yeah, you can't sue the employee, can't sue the employer, the shop. So they're suing the owner of the car
because he didn't have control of the vehicle.
Right.
Yeah, basically.
Like what the fuck?
Yeah.
Legit. It's a thing. Like, no, that would not. He's like, wasn't in the car. wasn't even there,
No.
was involved at all.
Yeah, I don't know how any judge would let that fly.
An idiot in my car who doesn't know how to work a stick killed a man on accident,
Yeah.
allegedly. And
Right.
now he's getting sued.
Dude, what the hell? Anyway. So I got a thing that happened over the weekend.
TV. That's all I know.
Yeah. So I don't know. I feel like we're kind of old school because we still have kind of like a cable TV subscription. Okay.
Okay.
Do you have that? Do you have regular cable TV?
Well, I mean, what's regular?
I mean, like cable TV. Do you have like a cable TV box and like you can flip channels?
We have Xfinity with like a
with TV
with a TV
package.
That has
Okay, so we have that also, except ours is through Consolidated, so it's all over the fiber, right?
Okay.
And prior to that, we had Comcast, and Comcast prices just would change the bill on us like every month. It seemed like it would just be more and more expensive. It got to the point where just like screw them. So we ended up switching the TV out to Consolidated, and we've had that for a couple years now.
Okay.
Well, the promo that our TV is on expired, and the pricing just went through the roof for this month. So we were all up in arms. So it's like, well, this happens. Like this is what happens is the thing will expire. We'll get one bill where it's expensive, and then we call them and be like, hey, we need to get on a different promo because it's like our bill's outlandish.
Right.
So my wife, I'll call him tomorrow. Okay, cool. She calls him and she's like, yeah, so we got our bill and like, we can't believe how expensive it is. We really need to get on some new promo.
Whatever thing.
And this is how it works with them. We've always had to do this. We've done it multiple times. Well, as it turns out, they're like, well, we can't, there's no promos available for television.
Okay.
And we're like, okay. And she proceeds to tell her that if you make any changes to your Consolidated services, your TV will literally go away. So they are trying to get rid of their television business because it doesn't make them any money.
Oh.
And so we are in a situation where we don't want to go back to Comcast, right?
Right.
Because we're only getting one service through Comcast. The only way you can save money by having Comcast is to get internet also. I don't need two internet services at my house.
Right.
Right. So we don't want to go back to Comcast where we were left with a very sour taste in our mouth from the last time.
Okay.
I suppose we could try and get AT&T. DirecTV we don't want. This is my generation, right?
Yeah.
Cable television.
Right.
Like to turn on your TV and just be able to, I love flipping channels. I just turn on the TV and start flipping. I'm like super ADD watching TV. I'll watch something for a segment until the commercial comes on. Then I start flipping again until I find something interesting.
Right.
That's just how it's relaxing. I see stuff that's on that I give a shit or not about. I just move on or what?
Mm-hmm.
You know what I mean?
Yeah.
But now, if we don't go with one of these other setups that offer cable television, like what we have now with a DVR, then we're now moving into the streaming realm. And that's a whole nother thing.
So, okay. So I have questions.
Yeah. I don't have any answers probably, but let's...
So did they literally say, anything past this point, we are no longer offering TV packages?
So while she's on the phone, I hear her having this conversation. I run to their website and their television service just shows streaming. And so this was one of the things that we've heard about. We have a couple of friends that work for Consolidated, right? That they were going to be switching from the cable TV over fiber method,
right,
and moving into a streaming platform, which is like, okay, that's fine. We never heard anything about it. Okay. This was to be their own streaming platform, which I would assume would be offering an app for like Apple TV or whatever.
Right.
And then you would log in with your account and then you could like watch live television through it.
Okay.
That was my understanding of the situation. However, they sort of piloted that for about a year and decided to back out of it. And now on their website, they go, here's our television offering. It's streaming. Cool. Sign up for internet and you can sign up for these streaming services. And one of the things that they offer is DirecTV streaming, or, they have, and so they're links,
just brokering out
yes,
TV to services,
to streaming services. So get your cool internet service and then you can get these streaming offerings.
Right. Oh.
So that's what they've gone to. So that pretty much means that if we decide that we need, here's the thing, is all of the pieces of our packages, our internet, our digital phone service, and our TV are all at the highest point they could be.
Right.
We cannot get a promo to lower any of those prices down unless we're ready for the TV to just get turned off and go away.
So you either
pay the bill.
Pay it in the shit.
Yep. Which is like $300 a month or something for all
How
of
much
the services.
more than what you're paying
I think
now?
it went up. It was like $80 or $90.
Okay, so roughly 1/3. It went up 33%.
Yeah.
Roughly.
Yeah.
And you're grandfathered in,
but not at a promo price.
Right.
At the top dog price.
So you can continue to use what you have. They're not telling you we're pulling your plug.
Not yet.
They're telling you for 33%, you can continue to join extra. You can continue to enjoy everything that you have now. But you're going to be paying us 33% more.
And don't count on changing anything.
Yeah. And the moment
you don't want to order HBO or Showtime or Cinemax, because if you do,
if you alter the agreement,
then it just goes away.
We will remove it.
Yeah. Can you believe that?
Wow.
So that threw us into a little bit of a tailspin. And I'm not against stream. I mean, we have Netflix, Disney Plus. I don't know. We have a couple of them, right?
Right.
We have streaming services. This is not a problem, like, from that standpoint. It's that streaming services aren't live television, right?
Right.
This is like my son and Shan and I all had this conversation about, like, well, okay, cool. I mean, I can sign up for I could probably save money. Like, we don't watch every channel that's available on our consolidated TV.
Right. And most people wouldn't. But,
yeah, and we probably watch, out of the 800 channels they provide, or somewhere in there, 600, 700, 800 channels, we probably watch about 120 of them that in that range, because those are the HD channels and the rest of them just look like shit.
Okay.
So, and then there's a subset of those 125 channels that we actually end up watching. Some of it's local television, which the local stations are really losing out, because it is difficult, from what I have seen, to get the local stations back into your programming lineup in any shape or fashion.
Okay.
So that's really difficult. So one of the things, like, for instance, my wife gets up in the morning and she takes a shower, and part of her getting ready is watching Good Day Sacramento on Channel 31 here in local Sacramento TV.
Okay.
She worked for that station for like 14 years. She knows people that are on air. She enjoys watching the show, right? She wouldn't be able to do that. It would be difficult to do that. I think we could, but it's just a way different way about having to go about it.
Right.
You can't just turn it on. With streaming services, you're nickel and diming everything. So you're paying for $6 a month here, $6 a month there, $5 here. You know what I mean?
Right.
It's not, and you're deciding what you watch, but you can't turn on one thing and flip channels.
Right.
Which for me is like, that sucks.
Now, I will say that you're relative to your promo thing. So I'm going to whip through this because I can run at length on still what you're talking about. So the promo, the rolling into a promo to promo to promo.
Yeah.
Venus does a similar thing with the Sirius XM stuff in her Explorer. She will re-up when they send her a thing saying, "Oh, it's a free 90-day," where it's like free to her or a really ridiculous cost, if any, to her, and then she'll write it out, and then it'll be like, your bills come due in 2 weeks, and she'll call up because she has no problems with that. Whereas I would be like, okay, I'll just pay the bill. She calls them up and goes, "I'd like to cancel my thing," and they're like, "Oh, okay," and they try to upsell her or keep her on board, and she'll be like, "No, thank you," and then it gets canceled. And you wait 30, 60, 90 days. "Hi, welcome back to SiriusXM. We have a return company." Yeah, and she'll roll into that.
Yeah.
So I know that happens for sure.
Yeah.
So it doesn't shock me that TV works the same way for you guys.
Yeah.
The thing with personally, I don't channel flip.
Yeah.
Personally, my time in watching anything not in my office is using a streaming service. I turn on the TV, I go straight to the Amazon Prime disc, and from there I launch into any of the number of streaming shit from the Amazon Prime dashboard.
Right.
I don't watch anything like that's on broadcast TV or via the Xfinity local channels to ABC, NBC, CBS, blah, blah, blah.
Okay.
Venus does. She records like NCIS and some of the other shit, I'm sure, that I don't know off the top of my head. NCIS is my easy grab that she'll watch. And in fact, when I go into the living room and the fucking inputs are on the TV are wrong, and I'm like, "What the fuck? Where's my Amazon Prime thing?" It's because she's changed the input to watch shit off of the Xfinity unit
box,
and not the Amazon Prime thing.
Yeah.
But me being a streamer content ingester, I almost feel like I get the whole a la carte business of streaming services. If someone told me, well, you're not really, you and your wife, your household isn't really using the TV. Do you want to cancel it? And if I said, yeah, I probably still wouldn't even be saving any more money, because there are so many tiny streaming platforms: Paramount Plus, Hulu, Disney Plus, Apple TV, Netflix, and ESPN. Like, in order to get some of Amazon, in order to get some of those things, what did I rattle off? Almost 8 things that all have their unique fucking subscription service.
Yep.
That certainly I would probably save money if I killed the TV, but not at the cost of probably the bundle package that I'm getting currently from Xfinity for having a TV, phone, broadband, all bundled into it.
DVR,
right,
charges.
And the DVR and a multi-room, whatever, satellite fucking bullshit, all that stuff. Would I be saving money? I probably would, but my household wouldn't, because then Venus would probably have to do an NBC or a CBS or an ABC streaming service a la carte that would then put me at or above the bundled thing. So I'm like, well, fucking, this does not, and it's another fucking account.
Yes.
Dude.
Right. I know.
That's what's nice about the Disney Plus one, is that if you do their combo, it's one login for Hulu, ESPN, and Disney Plus.
Well, I mean, some of them, like if you get apps from, if you have an Apple TV, for instance, and you download a streaming service and then subscribe, I believe those are all charged through the App Store. Like, those are all managed within your iCloud account.
Yes.
So that's kind of nice.
The Amazon will do it the same way. Like, I can launch into, now I have to put the account in once. Obviously, there's one-time authentication there. But from the Amazon Fire Stick, I can launch into TV. HBO was another one, so there's 9. HBO, Hulu, Amazon shit,
Yeah.
TV Plus. I can launch into any of those, Disney Plus, Netflix, YouTube, all of those from the Fire Stick, and it retains the credentials. Sure.
Right.
But if you were going to, there's a hardship there for like one-time logins, I'm sure. Multiple devices.
Well, I mean, I'm not even worried about that necessarily. The thing that I've been thinking about is like, okay, if we're spending $120 a month just to have cable TV, right? If we can dump out the DVR, all the whole home DVR BS and the other 3 rooms that we have set up for it,
right?
Those are all costs that are associated that we're paying for DVR rental charges every month, all that kind of shit for their hardware, right? We'll be getting rid of that stuff. Plus, that's $120 a month or whatever it is that you could put towards a streaming service.
True.
Right?
Right. Yes.
So,
yeah.
If you look at it from that standpoint, I'm already paying this. Now I have $120 to really pare down the things that we want and have room in case there's other ones that we decide we need later.
Yeah.
And I think we'll come out ahead. The thing of it is for me is like,
your behavior patterns of doing the thing.
Yeah, like there's not going to be, it's a very cathartic thing for me to be able to just like get up on a Sunday morning, everyone else is asleep, go out and like just flip channels. What's on? Oh, here's some fucking basketball game or a baseball game or anything. And like watch it until I'm bored with it and then move on to another channel. That's just not a thing that you're going to be able to do without some sort of cable TV subscription.
I think probably with what you and I would understand as like a user guide flipping, I can't think off of the user interfaces of the streaming services that I know I don't know that type of experience exists. Now, could you make a small leap that if you were in a YouTube app and going through tiles, that you would not necessarily be missing any experience? It's just the formatting of the tiles that looks different. Someone would probably be like, you're just having first world problems.
Well, it's like, okay, I want to watch live TV.
Right.
Period. What channel do I want to watch? That's now going to determine which app I need to run to my Apple TV and find and launch and then go to live TV. It's not a matter of just hitting one button and having like my TV turn on and my DVR turn on and then instantly be able to hit channel up or channel. You know what I mean?
So what might be as close to approximation to that is because YouTube has a TV.
I know there's like Sling. There's Sling and a couple other things like that.
So there might be something close, and there's no way, right? There's no way for you to get that experience without a startup hardship. But something tells me,
and the local television is something that we watch a lot. We'll watch what's going on in our area.
Right.
A lot of local news or whatever. Not a lot, but turn it on before you go to bed or whatever, find out what's going on.
Right.
Sling doesn't do that. They don't do local stuff. It's very limited. They have some, but it's very, very limited. So, it's like just being able to do that kind of shit is now burdensome. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
It's a burden to like, fucking I need the CBS local app or whatever it is. And then,
right.
It's like,
right. So I would be curious because the nerd in me. Yeah. So there's two things here. I suppose the first thing would be how is Data is approaching that?
Well, he's like, streaming. It's just like,
right.
Just it's a generational thing.
I was going to say, so
absolutely.
This is a problem that our generation is having to come to grips with because he's like, I'm just streaming. I'll watch it later or whatever.
Yeah.
Right.
Well, you know what's funny is we had a situation where we had a show that we recorded on our DVR. It got to, I think it was just Dateline on NBC, right? So we record Dateline. I'm sorry, we record Dateline on our DVR. But so we were watching a Dateline the other night, and we got like literally, it's like a 2-hour show. We got in like an hour and 45 minutes, almost to the end, hour and 45 minutes into the show. And all of a sudden the DVR just restarts. It hits a certain point and the DVR reboots itself. And I'm like, oh, that's weird. So then I launched the show again, and it's like 45 minutes before, like it didn't even know where we had left off. Then I fast forward close, and then I start playing again. It hits the same exact spot, and the DVR reboots. And I'm like, well, that show's corrupted. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
So then it's like, oh, I thought, we have the Peacock app. I wonder if we can just watch this on the streaming app.
There's like 10 now. Peacock.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And so sure as shit, turn on the Apple TV, go to the Peacock app. Oh, there's Dateline. There's the show.
Yeah.
And then we played it so we could finish it. But the thing of it is, we don't even need a DVR for that. Right? Because all the shows that we had recorded were in the list that we could have just watched. Now that's fine. What is happening tonight?
Maybe it's heat.
I don't know.
We've been hotter before. Oh, wait. Oh,
it just lost its zoom level.
Zoom went way the fuck out.
So it's just,
His balls are too big. Zoom out. Reset and zoom out. You touched it, bitch.
I didn't do anything. All right. So, and I don't know. It's just like a different way to, and it's like our hand is being forced into. Right. I feel like our hands being, there are other options.
Right. Oh, so here's the thing. So the nerd in me sees this as an opportunity. And it's all hypothetical because I am not in your shoes. Like my amount of TV ingesting, but if Venus came to me with, say, Shan's requirement, in the mornings, I like to watch this show. It's local, keeps me informed. I have vested interest as a past employee. These are my people. This was my industry.
Right.
Whatever. And my ability to watch this with amount of ease of use is going away. How can we solve that? The slinged TV kind of thing, or the share to a Apple TV or share to a Chromecast or a Fire Stick would probably be my next. Like, okay, so here is the workflow. How can I make this? Here's our creating new pathways, right? Hashtag Hey Tony. That is where I would probably have to approach it, because certainly Venus would be just as frustrated, if not more, than Shan. Like, this is my morning coffee. These are my pathways. I don't want to. The show isn't going away. My ability to watch the show with the habit that I have is. So, what is the next easiest way for me to maintain my habit without losing my want for the end product?
Right.
You and I have seen some of the crazy shenanigans that are afforded within like the Apple ecosystem in general, and you have an Apple TV that I don't have. So something tells me that we could probably, within maybe one extra step, launch a thing that chucks to a TV, or it would be there, and it would just happen. And I'm like, I mean, I think for the most part, it's all doable. It's just not a convenient way for. Right.
It's not something we're used to. It's not something that we would have chosen to go ahead and do.
Well, you wouldn't. Who? Right. This is the whole path. Right.
Yes.
This is the whole thing.
Yes.
It's like you wouldn't willingly change something that you don't have to.
Yeah.
It is, how hard will you work to continue to make it somewhat simple so that you can enjoy the thing at the end.
Yeah. I mean, I'm a tech guy. Like I've been in the tech industry.
And you have to come with this fast because it's 33% more in your bill.
Yeah.
either you figure it out or you start eating in the shorts.
Yeah, I mean, I worked in the tech industry for 25 years. It's not like I'm tech adverse or anything like that.
Right. It's not like you
just
won't
like-
be able to figure it out, but it's
No.
click, click, done.
But it's like
This
it's
is my
like
thing.
a thing that's happening like that, right?
Right.
Like, oh, it's just being thrust on us because of cost now and because of choice or lack of choice.
It's interesting to know, not to know, but to see that it's a losing,
They lose money.
lose money thing. I wonder why that is. If they're just relaying signals, do they have to pay for licensing or something?
Yes.
Okay, so that makes sense.
That's the problem, is that like for all the local stations and stuff, they used to not have to pay anything. They could just relay it.
Mm-hmm.
And the stations would just make all their money based on their advertising. Well, the advertisers are getting fewer and far between. And so the stations are now like forcing carriers to like pay them for. And so then the cable companies like Comcast Consolidated,
right,
AT&T, Uverse, or whatever, then they have to like now charge the customer for that.
Right.
You know,
that makes sense. Yeah.
Yeah. So I mean, everything is what
and
it
when
is. And DirecTV. I mean, my in-laws have had DirecTV for as long as I can remember. One of the things they run into all the time with DirecTV is the local stations will go away because they haven't agreed on a contract.
Right. And I think we've seen that a couple times in the last 5-10 years,
and it will literally just get yanked, and then they don't. They
haven't re-upped.
You just don't have the local stuff anymore for a while until they figure it out, and it could be months and months.
Yeah, and I could see as Consolidated being a non-purchased part of one of the big juggernauts that they probably don't have any wheel greasing going on like Comcast, Xfinity, where like they're own some of
they're
these
small beans
studios anyway. Like they're part of a part of a part.
Yeah.
So it's like, well, you know, our licensing is baked into the purchase because they're a parent company kind of thing.
Right.
Whereas Consolidated is probably legit having to pay out, and because they're a third party agnostic to the big machine.
Well, I don't know if you know, but Consolidated originally was just Roseville Telephone.
Yes,
Okay.
that one I knew.
So that was a local telephone company for Roseville, and then they became Roseville. It was RCSIS, so they were like Roseville and Internet Services, Roseville Telephone and Internet Services. I forget exactly what they changed their name to, and then they got bought out by Consolidated.
Right.
And Consolidated is here locally, and then they have some
Midwest.
Yeah, some stuff in the Midwest, back east somewhere. But you know, they're a bigger company than they were.
Right. But they're not Time Warner.
No, they're not.
You know,
they're not Comcast.
Yeah, they're not Comcast Xfinity.
For sure. But, you know, it's just an interesting dichotomy that I never would have thought in my lifetime. Cable TV was like the thing, right? And so I never would have thought in my lifetime we'd be in a situation where suddenly we wouldn't have that as an option. I mean, it's an option. I could probably call Uverse and get Uverse installed, you know.
Right.
I don't know.
But then you would have a second.
Yeah, we would have another situation where we'd have just a TV service, you know, where, well, it'd be cheaper if you bundled the internet. You know, it's like, I already have internet that I'm very happy with.
Right.
You know?
Now you've got,
It's just a weird, I don't know. It's a weird thing, and I didn't know.
That's a mess.
I know. It's weird.
So I guess the ultimate question is, how long are you going to pay $300?
We're not. I mean, it's going to be probably a 1 month, and like we got to figure this out.
Oh, yeah,
kind of thing.
So you're like,
we're on the clock for sure. Yeah,
you get your 30 days of this payment, and by then we're calling to
that service is probably we got to watch all the shit that we have saved on the DVR. And not record anything new.
Yeah. Where do you want me to drop this shit off?
Yeah, exactly.
Hot mod.
Yeah, come get it. It's on the porch.
Yeah. I'm going to, what? Somewhere on Vernon? Well, I'm going to put this at your doorstep, and I hope the homeless people don't pick it up.
Well, I mean, to be honest, we have like 3 TVs that are set up for it. We have the main, actually 4, So we have the main TV and then the 3 bedrooms. Our bedroom gets used, but the kids' bedrooms never get used. So we're paying for 2 rooms that we never ever use, I don't believe.
Oh.
So it's like you
may make out pretty good.
Yeah, Chandler, I don't think he ever uses it. Melanie never uses it. So we could dump both of those and be happy anyway. But then also, we're getting rid of the other DVR, and that means our bedroom's going away too.
No.
It's just it created a panic at our house. Like, what are we gonna do?
Right.
Do we just go streaming? Can we do that? I mean, I know we can do that, but is it viable for us? Is it like gonna be a pain in the ass? It's not how we're used to watching television.
Yeah.
So.
Man, I remember being on the pilot for the YouTube thing because they were supposed to. Part of that hotness was being able to do local channels, but now I can't recall.
Is that for YouTube TV?
Yeah, with the 100% confidence that they have that or not anymore. Maybe
they just gave up.
Like I said, I'm probably just lucky because of my lack of intake on local stuff.
Yeah.
It's like,
it's like, hey, we can sell you this car, but guess what? They don't have tires anymore, and you're gonna be like, what the fuck?
Yeah. if Venus came into the office and said, we haven't had TV for the last 30 days, and my NCS shows aren't hashtag I love my wife. She doesn't really sound like that. And we haven't had and my NCS shows are all deleted from the DVR.
It sounds spot on.
Right. Fuck, I'm busted.
You are in trouble.
She's gonna kill me. And I would be like, really? And she'd be like, oh yeah, it's terrible. It's fucking wrong. I'm like, well, the internet is fine. Can you just watch it on
stream it
on their website?
Which was that on ABC or CBS?
They've got an app. Have you thought about using that?
Then we don't have to save nothing locally.
Right. Like, what? No.
Yeah, it's an interesting thing. And I was telling my wife, what I think is fascinating is when we we had dial-up, right?
Mm-hmm.
That was like our first foray into the internet. And it was a service like JPS.net. We had dial-up through JPS.net, right? And then we got like our first high speed was like, I think 1.5 megabit. And that was Roseville Internet Services.
Yeah.
And that was like super cool. But it was like, that was an extra thing. Like, no one really needed the internet back then. It was just like kind of cool to have.
Right.
And it was usable to some degree. Now it's like the center of everyone's world. And it's crazy to me, like the way Consolidated's looking at it is like, oh, you want phone service and you want television service? Well, just get some internet service. And now it's the backbone of a lot of what happens that comes into our homes.
Yeah. Like, oh, well, we don't do landlines anymore. We do a digital virtual landline over your internet.
Yeah.
So if you don't have internet, then you don't have the phone.
Exactly.
Okay. Well, why bother? Like that's what I have a Google Voice number for.
We have a landline through them.
Yeah.
So
and I did too until I got the new router, and then it doesn't have that port. So I'm sorry I missed your call, Tom McClintock.
It's a really interesting how quick we've gotten here. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
I remember my grandparents in Orange County had cable before we did because we lived in Fair Oaks, and that was the boonies back in the day. And I remember going to their house, and they had like a box that was like this big with a row of buttons and a little lever, and you pressed to clunk 3, 4, all the way down, and it had 3 banks. That's what the lever was for. So you could go blank 1, went up to whatever number, and then you switched to the middle one, and that was the next set of numbers.
Okay.
So you could have that. You could have 3 times whatever that bank was of channels, and watching MTV with actual music videos.
When
was the last time they did that?
Yeah, we were talking about I can't remember what we were doing, but it was something we were talking about having to change the channels.
Oh yeah, clicking on
as kids.
Hey, foo.
Yeah,
go put it on channel 10.
Like, you guys don't even know. Like, we were watching something. I just put
out the carpet.
Yeah, Disney Plus on something, and I think I made a joke like, Xander, change the channel, and he,
what's that mean?
What? I'm like, man, I kind of had like a moment with Venus. I'm like, you remember, like, when you someone wanted to go surfing, it was like, hey kid, get up and go to the TV.
Yeah, in between cigarettes.
Yeah, and you like, here?
Yeah.
Not next. Here?
Yeah.
Next. Here? Next. Here? Leave it. Hold on a second. That's commercial. Next. Here. Like, and then if you're my household, like, this is not a meme. If you're my household, that knob broke off. We had vice grips on the channel changing knob, and it was like, click, click. Huge vice grips. Huge.
Yeah.
Jason, change the channel.
Semi-truck vice grips.
Get up. Where? 13.
That's hilarious.
I mean, channel 31. Because
you got to put it on
right.
The
U.
Yeah.
And then because the lower knob was like tighter dial.
Yeah.
It like click, click, click for 3, 13, 7. Yeah. But then you wanted 31 or 40, you had to go to the U, and then it was like putting a baseball card in the spokes of your tires.
Ours didn't even have retent, so it was just smooth.
Oh Jesus, that would not have, like, ours had the tactile.
It gave you the opportunity to really fine tune that one.
Oh shit. The other thing was, God, I saw it was a random. It was like a security question. It was a minor's security question to prove that they were 18. And the question was, which of these items does a VHS work with? And it had like 3 bogus answers, and one was a cassette tape or something. And it was like radio, something, something, something. But there were no clues. It was like, what does a VHS play?
Yeah.
And the 4 answers, and one was a tape. And it was like, man, like, kids.
even more than that, though.
Like, tracking on a VHS thing. Like, go up there, the thing's off. Go adjust the tracking.
Yeah.
Dial in the static.
Now, have you seen any of the TikToks where they give a kid a phone that's rotary and they tell them to dial a number? That's hilarious. They have no idea how to do it. They're like, I don't get it. You press it,
what's the...
and they're like, oh, it moves. What?
Like, you just press inside the hole?
Yeah.
Like, what?
Yeah. And then they realize that the dial moves and they don't know what to do with it.
Like, what is coming? Episode, what would be episode 1 of the Star Wars saga is coming out. It's like 25 years old. And I remember watching that in, God, what was it? Good Guys.
Oh, yeah. Good Guys.
Down off of...
We gotta be good.
Somewhere...
On Sunrise?
On Sunrise.
Yeah.
That's what it was. On Sunrise. On the big fucking laser discs.
Yeah.
Like, the picture was amazing. But if you recall, laser discs were quick.
Yeah.
They were quick and done.
Yeah.
And everything went to Blu-ray, HD, DVD, and Blu-ray real fast. Laser discs barely had their moment in time.
Yeah.
But I remember going, because I didn't fucking have any money, but I had enough money to get gas to go watch fucking Phantom Menace in the Good Guys really nice couches on Laserdisc, because that shit was amazing.
Yeah.
But that was flash in the pan.
Yeah.
Like, Laserdisc went by super quick.
Even before the Laserdiscs were I don't even remember what they were called, but it was a cartridge the size of a Laserdisc where the disc was inside it, and RCA had a system, and you take the cartridge and put it in, and then when you pulled the cartridge back out, the disc would stay inside the box.
Oh, like a shuttle? That's weird.
Yeah. And then it would play half the movie, and then you would have to put it in and flip it over and put it back in.
Oh.
Yeah. And we
So-
had
so those-
like 3 or 4 movies at home, but we would go to Roy's TV and Appliance at the corner of Greenback and Hazel, and they had thousands of these things, and the sound that it made when you clicked through them when you were looking at them, because they were like record size, so they were in these bins that were like records, and we would go and rent a movie from Roy's TV and Appliance, and they had hundreds or thousands of them. You could just click, 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 click. Oh, have we seen this?
It's The Fugitive.
That was our first foray into rentals. It was even before VHS was really popular.
Huh.
Yeah, crazy.
Well, I mean, you see now too, like how the Redbox stuff.
Yeah.
I feel like they, I don't know how many. I mean, it's probably popular with the retirement communities that we have, right?
Yeah,
I mean,
Sun City.
that would be it, because us as hybrid and next generation down, are watching it digitally and streaming it. Like I saw someone talking about, who was it? Someone asked if I had a video game.
Mm-hmm.
Like I haven't bought a material disc to play a game in 5+ years.
Right.
I don't. I mean, that was like 2 Xboxes ago.
Right.
Everything I buy is purchased digitally, stored on an SSD, and played. I have everything that I have is because it's for a mobile. Hey, buddy, is for a mobile platform. So the Switches.
Yeah.
I think Xander or Venus has a couple media things for their Switch.
Right.
But they both also have digital copies.
Yes.
For like Animal Crossing or whatnot for their Switches as well.
Yep.
Yeah, I would prefer it that way. The storage is cheap. And it was just like some of these company like GameStop, who the early part of their careers in business made use of the buy and resell of material formatted games and products. Like,
well, I think
what are you doing?
The game publishers don't want to sell the media because you can readily resell it or just give it to a friend and let them play it.
Right. I'm sure game publishers are more than happy to go the digital model because it's
all locked down.
One purchase, one license.
Or one, I mean, we have like some stuff through Nintendo Switch that you can share with your family or whatever.
Right.
If you buy the family.
But you're going to pay
extra
a little bit extra for a multi-license type of thing.
Yeah.
I always kind of wondered how that has started to play out. I mean, games are easy. Like but those people that never happened in my house that would rent a Redbox movie and then rip it.
Oh yeah.
Right?
Yeah.
So if you start to take away that physical media, and now the potential customers that were not buying a movie or a rental or a subscription service because they were getting a ripped copy, are some of those services now seeing extra? Now, if you're Netflix, the answer is no, because they're taking a bath as far as earnings because they're losing. So that whole thing ties back to the beginning. Well, like Netflix is losing subscribers.
Yeah.
So if more cable companies are actually calving off TV services and pointing those customers to streaming services, well, then how does that jive with Netflix losing like millions of accounts?
They were all bot accounts.
I mean, could be.
Elon Musk.
Like you can only have, share your password so many times, but they're losing millions of accounts.
Yeah.
So where are those? Is the market so congested with streaming services and the expenses that someone is actually having to cancel Netflix in order to get Apple TV Plus or Disney Plus It's certainly possible. Certainly possible. I
Yeah.
mean, when you start saying people are having to go back to the office, people are having to start paying gas. Yeah, I got to cut one of these things. Who's got the better shit? Disney Plus.
Yeah.
Fine. Well, then cut Netflix.
Yeah.
I'll watch it on YouTube.
I haven't found anything good to watch on there recently anyway, so just get rid of it.
Yeah.
I'll revisit that later.
Someone's going to put it up on torrent Stranger Things anyway, so I'll just watch it in August.
Now, you touched on something like, because that was the music was their first big, like, Wild West digital stuff, right?
Right.
And you think about it, a CD of music is uncompressed audio, right?
Mm-hmm.
So if you rip music out, you're getting the best possible quality copy of that disc that you can. You're not getting that if you are subscribed to Apple Music or Spotify or whatever. And then getting a copy of that stuff is impossible. And if you're subscribed, why would you need to? But that's an interesting thing. Like, we went from like, oh, well, here's an LP, here's 8 tracks, here's cassettes, here's mini discs, and here's CDs. The CD being the highest, and probably mini disc being the highest quality music reproduction that you can. I mean, that was the whole point of a CD, was like, it's clarity. It's
right.
It's the thing. Like, there is no compression here, right?
Mm-hmm.
And you could rip that into files,
right.
AIFF files or MP3 files or whatever. AIFF being uncompressed versus MP3 or OGG Vorbis or whatever the thing is. You can't decide on that if you're buying music from iTunes, right? You're just getting whatever they get you. So you're not even getting the best possible quality.
Right. And I would say they only just recently came out with their lossless audio program.
Right.
And even then, it's not the entire catalog.
Right.
It's select artists, select albums of certain artists. So at least there's an option, but it's not ubiquitous across the board.
Well, and that's the other thing is, like, from a video standpoint, you have it on Blu-ray or you have it on DVD. That's the highest quality copy that you can get your hands on to rip and keep somewhere as a file. And you can't, with a streaming service, you can't do that. In fact, I noticed the other day on Netflix, you can't even screenshot a Netflix in your browser video. If you screenshot it, the screenshot shows that as being black.
Black, yeah.
And I was like, oh, damn, you can't even get a screenshot.
Yeah.
I was just messing around and realized that. I was like, oh, man, that's crazy.
Yeah.
I mean, it's all locked down now.
Yeah, no sneaky.
No, none. That's fascinating. So, anyway, that was my revelation from the weekend.
We're at time, too.
Yeah.
So we punched it.
I want to know if other people are having this problem, or if it's, I just feel like we're old school or something.
Yeah, I'd be curious as to how much of the audience is like a cord cutter streaming services only.
Yeah.
Or do you still, like old fuddy-duddies like us? Or well, do you? Because I don't. I get my local.
I'm older than you are. So.
I have my local news intake is via web.
Yeah.
I have the news local KCRA site.
Yeah. And
KOVR's websites up. Generally, certainly when there's a fire, which is
something happening,
fucking all the time.
Yeah.
I leverage local news through the web. I am rarely on TV.
Yeah.
So I'd be curious to know if you're someone that's full stream with no local, or you've made an easy transition to getting that stuff through streaming services. I'd like to know. Help us out. Help out the old guys.
Yeah.
Because we'll help you out by returning the cart.
Yeah. And also, I'll check your oil, Tony.
I'd like to see
I'll help
your-
you out with that.
You want to see my dipstick? Tony? Hey, buddy. Wear the mask.
Yeah, wash your hands for sure.
Get the shot.
Return the cart?
Register to vote.
Yeah, do that for sure.
And we will catch you next week.
Do the kindness.
Okay. Alrighty. Okay. See, you like pointed.
That's right. Do it.
Yeah. I'm like,
Yeah.
you can get off and do that thing there, partner.
Thanks for listening, everybody.
All right. Bye.
Bye-bye.